In this series of frenzied minutes we call life, it may be hard at times to internalize the social dilemmas of our age, be they pervading racism and sexism, or hunger and poverty, or environmental issues. Yet as we close our eyes at night, our hearts insist that there is still something we can do, a way to make a difference in this world. No one can make a great difference on his or her own. We need each other. But in order to make change possible at all, every person must start the change within him or herself. On this night, in memory of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I urge you to start with yourself by opening your heart to love. Without love, none of his hopes for equality, progression, or acceptance would have taken root. Speaking in St. Louis at the Freedom Rally in April 1957, King said to an integrated crowd of 8,000, "We must get a hold of this simple principle of love and let it be our guiding principle throughout this struggle." This is a simple principle. It means having compassion, feeling empathy for those in struggle, wanting happiness for all in this world. This simple principle is often forgotten, overshadowed by greater themes of a movement. Yet love's power is rooted in its simplicity. It's your time to start with love. I assume many of you may be thinking now, what do you mean start with love? I'm a loving person. But consider in your life what stands in the way of love. Is there a day when you allow feelings like fear or rage to take control and overwhelm your sense of better judgment? Well, who we are in these fleeting days collectively defines our identities. And if you let such harsh feelings penetrate your life, you only perpetuate the rage and fear in those around you, and your love dwindles. So is there something in your life that causes negativity within you? Is there a person, a group, a political dilemma, a moral issue that makes you angry, that makes you hate? If you have the potential to hate, you possess the power to love. It's time to find that tranquil place within you. Make peace with whatever stands in your way and awaken the spirit of love. Dr. King once told Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, in order to love your enemies, you must begin by analyzing yourself. In your reflection, I hope you identify where compassion stands in your life, and I hope you allow it to always come first. Take it upon yourself to extend the hand. Forgive those against whom you hold hard feelings, for forgiveness does not justify any wrongdoing. Forgiveness allows you to set the past in stone and move forward. Let love be your next step. Because if we cannot first love our friends, our families, our neighbors, then how can we be expected to respect those whom we do not know? In today's world, hate is propagated through the unfamiliar, cultures and religions and orientations and beliefs that we find different from our own. We struggle to understand why others can't see what to us seems so clear. This struggle too often ends in discrimination, in violence, in tragedy. Some people can't understand why we all need standard health care, or why an individual is restricted by the laws of marriage, or why we need to send 30,000 more troops to war. And some of us can't understand the opposite, so we choose to hate. Let us reflect on the wise words of Dr. King. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. We expect all of our political and social issues, our darkness on a global and local level, to resolve little by little. Yet we rarely think about changing our own mindset first. Only after allowing love to guide the course of our thought and action can we as a community address inequality and injustice. Love opens the heart and then opens the mind. We must be willing to listen and we must be willing to learn. We must be willing to foster a love not for our individual ways of life, but for humankind. Yet it will not be enough to love others. We must also let ourselves be loved. While it is difficult to stand in that vulnerable place of need, think of how our lives could change if we let the Spirit of love walk with us to help us grow. If we expose our weaknesses, we can begin to understand them. As we understand our weaknesses, we can discover our strength. As you open your heart, accept its flaws, and let the love of others mend your scars and shortcomings as your love mends theirs. Friends, the time to love is now. It's your time. It's our time. In the enduring words of a great leader of hope, we must have sense enough to turn on the beautiful and powerful lights of love in this world. Change cannot happen overnight, but together we will persevere.